Hi, this is Shanda from Emma's Quilting Studio with 3 tips for why I bought my Bernina. And it's a quick tip Quilting Tuesday. The top 3 reasons why I bought my Bernina. Number 3, I would have to say, the third reason, is it has what we call hands-free sewing. There is a knee lift, and the knee lift lifts and lowers the presser foot. So when I'm sewing along, I just have to move my knee a little bit. The presser foot lifts up off of the fabric, and I can slide in the next piece, and I can chain piece and chain piece and chain piece for hours on end and never have to use my hand to lift up the back part of the presser foot. Reason number 2, and I will kind of tattle on myself. I had a very part-time job many years ago selling Singer and Brother sewing machines. It was just something I kind of did on the side. Not my favorite machines, none of them. I mean, if you're a teenager starting out and that's all you can afford, then bless your heart. I think they're wonderful for that respect. But I just would hate to, it'd be like buying a set of screwdrivers at the dollar store. They'd be constantly breaking, or the handles would become cracked. The minute you put some torque on that screwdriver handle, the handles become cracked and then they're going to break. And I've had so many people say, well, I was hemming my jeans. Yeah, it's going to kind of be hard on your sewing machine, and you need a really good sewing machine to do these kinds of things. But the number one reason why I did not like the Singer or Brother models is the bobbin. My Bernina, and this is reason number 2, my favorite thing about my Bernina, metal bobbins. A metal bobbin has some weight to it. It has some oomph, let's say, compared to plastic. A plastic bobbin, there's no weight, there's no substance, there's no drag to make your tension on your sewing, on your thread, happen and real and good. Where with a metal bobbin, it's heavier. I can just feel that there's some, even with no thread in it, there's some substance to it, and I just like a metal bobbin. Plastic bobbins are in so many of the new machines, and I am not a plastic person. But the number one reason why I guess this is true with many machines. We'll say that in all fairness. My Bernina is a quilter's edition. It came with a lot of extra accessories so that I could quilt with it if I wanted to. There's very few things I do on my Bernina that I would rather do on my Gamel, mainly machine quilting. But piecing, it's a star. And most machines come with, let me set these down here. Most sewing machines come with a throat plate that has a slot right here. You can see that it's a long, wide slot so that when you're zigzagging or doing a decorative stitch, there's some room for your needle to go down in that slot. This is called the throat plate. There's a slot right there. My Bernina came with this one, but it also came with a tiny hold throat plate. And what that does is it allows your piecing needle to be pretty precise. There's not a lot of extra room right in there for anything other than the needle to just go down and up, down and up, down and up to make your stitch perfect. So if you combine a metal bobbin with a single hold thread plate, like what's right, let me see if I can get this against something where you can see it right there. It's just a tiny little hole. Your piecing is going to be precision. If you do not have a single hold throat plate, you can order them for most machines. Most machines will manufacture additional throat plates for your sewing machine. So with this and this, your piecing is going to be pretty much spot on. One other really quick thing that I had this thought, and I am a kind of person who just really likes to read classics. Jane Austen, Who doesn't like Jane Austen? What woman does not like Jane Austen? But currently I'm reading a little bit of Hawthorne from my library. And I'm also reading one of my very favorite authors and illustrators is Beatrix Potter. And because it's getting to be spring and the gardening spirit is kind of upon us, I'm enjoying this book. But one of the reasons why I kind of put my finger on it now, why I like classic authors, is there was no technology to influence them. That time era was so, it was the era and regency of self-reflection, self-thought. They did not have a lot of intrusions into their life. They did not have a lot of obstructions to things. They could go into their room and read and study and come to a knowledge of their own thoughts and get them down on paper. They did not have beepers going off. They did not have texts interrupting them. They were just free thinkers, and they had lots of time to improve themselves and their writing or journal, whatever they did for their motivation. But the classic authors are my favorite for that very reason. You can tell by their writing that they are just classic in their own right. And read a book today.